Fourth Eorlingas from Lord of the Rings Tales of Middle-earth is the perfect card for Legacy, the Epic Storm, and in today's video, I'm going to show you why. Buckle up, it's going to be a good one. What is Fourth Eorlingas? For X, red and a white, you get a sorcery. Create X 2/2 human knight creatures with haste and trample. Whenever a creature you control deals damage this turn, you become the monarch. Why is this good, especially in Legacy? Well, currently, Orcish Bowmasters is everywhere. Grixis Delver, Shadow, you name it, it's probably in it. Well, Fourth Eorlingas gets around Orcish Bowmasters. It also gets around cards like Narset, Parter, or Veils that are really popular in the control shells at the moment. When you look at the construction of the sideboard of the Epic Storm, cards like Peer into the Abyss and Echo of Aeons, those get shut off by Orcish Bowmasters as well as Narset. So it forces you to empty the Warrens or Galvanic Relay. Both of those cards need time. That could be a problem. And Fourth Eorlingas actually clears Narset from the board, which opens you up for future possibilities, which is pretty interesting. So why do we want to play this? Well, it's actually a faster clock than Empty the Warrens in a lot of matchups because your creatures have haste. So if you empty the Warrens for 8, Fourth Eorlingas for 3, granted it is 1 more mana, is actually faster, and you get to rebuild because of the Monarch. If you're unfamiliar with Monarch, if you are the Monarch, you get to draw a card at the end of your turn. And that's something that is controlled with combat, but we're a creature deck now, so it's pretty interesting. And that's really the goal of the list that we're playing today, is just Fourth Eorlingas over Empty the Warrens. Empty the Warrens is cast roughly 5 to 6% of the time. I'm going to make an effort this league to cast this card in a meaningful way. Let's see if it happens. And I want to be honest with you, I did try to record a 5-color league before this one, and the mana base was just so bad that I decided to drop and play a more stock list. This was my crazy 5-color list. I got wastelanded into the dirt in every single round, and I couldn't deal with it. So today we're going to play a more normal list that isn't as, blown out by Wasteland with Fourth Eorlingas. We can cast it off of Lotus Petal, Mox Opal, and Lion's Eye Diamond. That's 12 white sources for 1 white card. I think we'll be just fine. Stick around. Let's cast Fourth Eorlingas and attack with some human knight tokens. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. That's always good too. Alright, I'll see you in the first round. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, early access to videos, exclusive members-only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, sideboard guides, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, like theepicstorm.com/shop or submitting a donation deck via theepicstorm.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic. Welcome to the first match. We're on the draw, and we're facing someone that likes Maverick, but also recently the 4-color Delighted Halfling piles. We have an unplayable 7-card hand. We're just going to have to mulligan that one. This seems better. We'll get rid of Urza's Bauble. Let's try this out. Okay, and it looks like a Delighted Halfling deck. Burning Wish. We'll play out a Bauble. I think I just want to cash this in immediately, because there's a chance that I want to Brainstorm on their end step. That's what they do on my end step. They cast Brainstorm. Ad Nauseam is a wonderful pickup here, but we're a little bit light on mana, so we need to draw a land, and hopefully it's a blue land and I can pair it with Brainstorm, fix our hand up a little bit. Life from the Loam with the Misty Rainforest. So this says that they're a version that has Wasteland in it. We did draw a blue land. That was a good one. Brainstorm. Well, there's a lot of lands. Okay, so let's get rid of 1 land and the Burning Wish. We can use the Infernal Tutor to go grab another Dark Ritual, and I think that will be worthwhile. No Wasteland. We'll fetch. Grab that Underground Sea. We did draw the Dark Ritual that I was going to search for. So I think instead what I'm going to do now is go get a 2nd copy of Veil of Summer. Pass the turn. Bloodstained Mire is going to go get Taiga. No plays from the opponent yet. Meaningful plays. I mean, Brainstorm and Life from the Loam are technically spells, but nothing that's truly scary yet. Main phase Brainstorm. Misty Rainforest once again. Alright, so we're going to go search out that Taiga. They have 6 cards in hand. They would need 3 counter spells to stop me here. And theoretically, we could just start on a pair of Veil of Summers and find out. And I think that's probably the move. Do you have triple counter spell? Mystic Sanctuary or Brainstorm? They know that I have 2 copies of Veil of Summer. We'll play the second one. You knew about this. So we could jam right now, or I can just untap and cast Veil of Summer. And I think that's the best move. So I'm going to pass. Like, the odds your opponent has 3rd Force plus blue card, not super high, but why risk it when we have the guaranteed Veil of Summer on the following turn? They play another Misty Rainforest. 3 cards in hand. This looks like a Minsk Ambu. Surprise, surprise. 2 cards left. So they're going to get a hamster here. They're going to put 3 +1/+1 counters onto it. And then I'm going to take 4 damage to the face, dropping down to 14 life. Alright, it's Ad Nauseam time. Burning Wish. Dark Ritual. Dark Ritual. It looks like they didn't have anything after all. Galvanic Relay. Okay, we're at 9, 8, 5. Another Lion's Eye Diamond, Diamond, Lotus Petal, Mire, Veil of Summer, another Bauble. We'll stop at 3. Rite of Flame. I think I might actually have enough mana here to win with 4th Eorlingas. No! Why would you be like that, opponent? Come on. I came here to make human knights with haste and trample, and you just denied me. Not very kind. Okay. So I think we likely want Abrupt Decay in this matchup. And I'm also good with boarding out Brainstorms, I think. A lot of the times in these matchups, people have Pyroblast, and I go back and forth on if that's actually the best move or not. But when I feel like they're builds with a lot of counterspells, I like bringing in the Thoughtseize. If I think that they're builds that don't have a lot of counterspell, I leave in Brainstorm. So it's just kind of a gut check sort of field play that I make sometimes, but I think I want to do this plan in this specific matchup. Keep all day. Turn 1 Tundra into a Ponder. Another land, not great. We don't have Brainstorm to fix this because I sided them out like a dummy. Alright, so in an effort to draw less lands, I'm going to just search them out a little bit proactively here. And like a dummy, I left this Misty no longer has a target because I, for some reason, searched out the Taiga. So, forgive me. That was just a bad move. I did it, and then I realized why it was wrong a split second later. Okay, opponent with 3 mana. 4th Eorlingas. Sure. So they become the Monarch, which is relevant. So now they'll start drawing 2 cards a turn. So they just drew the first one off the Monarch. We have Abrupt Decay, but Abrupt Decay doesn't make us the Monarch. Like the Monarch is already in play. I think I'm going to pass. They attack for 2, we'll fall to 15. And now they have to discard. They get rid of a Prismatic Ending. We'll play out a Bauble. Or actually, should we play out a Bauble? That's another question in itself. Dark Ritual. That just resolved. Big fan of resolving. Let's try a Burning Wish here. I mean, if they have enough counter magic to stop me plus Surgical, we lose the game. But I think the upside of a larger Galvanic Relay is worth it. We will attempt a Veil of Summer. They have Force of Will, pitching Uro. They have 4 cards left in hand. Bauble, Galvanic Relay. Alright, another Relay. Ideally, we would see a Burning Wish in here. So that way I didn't lose to Surgical if they drew it. Hey, the last one. Perfect. In their upkeep, let's look at their top card. Pyroblast. Well, we don't have any blue cards in our deck, so that's a fine draw. Delighted Halfling, they have 4 cards. I guess one issue here is that I have a pair of Infernal Tutors, an Abrupt Decay that I don't really want to cast, and a land that doesn't have a target. So those Infernal Tutors are not great unless I draw into a Lion's Eye Diamond. Okay, Bauble Trigger, another Relay. Ooh, Ay, ay, ay. Well, go get the Badlands, I guess. This is not a good situation to be in. I'm going to Thoughtseize them. So we went over 33% of the way through our deck and never found a diamond. So they can't play. They would have to draw. Oh no, they have the Halfling next turn. So they could play the Minsk. I think we have to take the Force Negation. So they're attacking next turn for 3. I would go to 7. I mean, I have 5 mana in play. Another choice I have here is to just Burning Wish for Pier, Infernal Tutor for double Bobble, and hope that within my next 3 draws I hit 3 mana. I think that's better than like a Relay for 4. So we'll Infernal Tutor, reveal Bobble, and then Burning Wish. Yes, I'll grab Peer into the Abyss, play these out, pass the turn. Once again, they are casting the Minsk and Boo. They get a legendary hamster that will soon become a 4/4. So this is 6 damage. I will drop down to 4 life. We go to their end step. They draw a card, and now we'll activate the Baubles. Okay. So we only saw cards we already knew about. Now we have 3 draws here. Rite of Flame gets us closer. We're 1 mana short. That does not do it. So I think I'm just dead. I can Abrupt Decay the hamster, but the way that it works is I guess I could put a stop in their draw step. Maybe that's the play here. Oh, they can just sacrifice the knight. I'd rather not show them that I boarded an Abrupt Decay then. Unfortunate. Okay, going to game 3. I need to play a little bit better. That was like that one bad fetch land threw off the sequencing for the rest of that game. I can't be doing that. Game number 3, we're on the play. Good hand, keep. So we're 1 mana away from a turn 2 Ad Nauseam. They have kept 7. I'm just going to lead on the Thoughtseize. If you hold the Thoughtseize, theoretically, you get to know that your coast is clear, but it would require me drawing +2 mana next turn. So either Lion's Eye Diamond or Dark Ritual, whatever. And they opened up a pretty stacked hand. So we're going to get rid of the Force of Negation here, because that is one that they could theoretically hard cast. Tropical Island. So we did draw the +1 we needed, but our opponent has a force, so we have to pass here. They Brainstorm. They play a land we didn't know about. And a creature we didn't know about. I mean, there's a chance that they don't have another blue card here, but if their other card off Brainstorm was a blue card, it's just a really good bait. Well, I'm going to fetch a green source. Let's grab Taiga. Come on, deck. That was amazing. So that gives us Ad Nauseam protected. Veil of Summer. Lotus Petal. Lotus Petal. Lion's Eye Diamond. Hold that control key, cast Infernal Tutor, and then sacrifice Diamond for 3 black. Wishclaw Talisman in this spot would not be getting Ad Nauseam, that's for sure. Okay, put it on the stack. Storm 6. Okay, we're going to slide this up so that way everyone can see the cards. Beautiful. Looks like we have an Opal and a Lotus Petal as starters. We could use a little bit more mana. There's an Opal. Beautiful. I think we've got this. That'll do, I believe. We'll stop there. Play out Lotus Petal just in case their last card was Surgical. Bobble. Bobble. Diamond. Mox Opal. Rite of Flame. Rite of Flame. Play out another Opal. Tap this Opal for black. We'll then exchange it for this Mox Opal. Tap that one for black. Burning Wish. Yes. Grab the Thoughtseize. We'll play Thoughtseize. Did I say Thoughtseize? I am so out of my head right now. Tendrils of Agony. Please forgive me. We also didn't cast 4th Eorlingas this matchup. Forgive me for that, but I will certainly take a match win, even though I don't know what card names are or how to cast the namesake card of this video. Alright, but we're 1-0. Let's see if we can cast in a match number 2. I'll see you there. MoxField.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. They support over 30 formats, including Legacy and many other Eternal formats. There are so many options to view decks the way that you want, from text view to individual cards, mana value, and even card price. There's also light mode and dark mode. My personal favorite feature is card tags. This way you can sort cards by function. MoxField supports collection tracking, scryfall search, decklist feedback, and so much more. Follow me on MoxField.com so you can stay updated on all of my decks. Welcome to the second match. Our opponents revealed a Yorion Sky Nomad. We have a really awkward hand that has triple Veil of Summer versus somebody that could be playing blue. So these Yorion decks recently have been 4-color piles. They could still be D&T, but our opponent is a former Delver player. So like I kind of don't expect them to be on Death and Taxes. So we have a couple draw steps to hit land 2. And then from there, we'd want to Infernal Tutor for Lion's Eye Diamond, and we'd have to draw a 3rd mana source for Veil of Summer. So it's kind of asking for a lot. I think you should actually just mulligan instead. This is fairly good. We'll keep this. Get rid of the Taiga. All right, Andy, what are you playing? Gasp. Not Death and Taxes. I can't believe it. We'll take a draw. Veil of Summer. That was a good draw. Bobble them. Teferi Time Reveler. Okay. We will draw the card off Bobble. That was a good one. So at this point, we're really just looking for more mana, mainly Lion's Eye Diamond. Interesting. Underground Sea. So they're not on the standard 4-color pile that most people are playing right now. Wow. These have been some perfect draws so far. I'm not going to say no. They grab a Tundra. Bowmasters, we will respond to that. Alright, so we will grab the Underground Sea and cast Brainstorm. What to do? I think we're supposed to put a pair of Rite of Flame on top, and then we'll allow the Bowmasters to happen. We take one from the Bowmaster, they get an Orc Army. Land number 3, they have 4 cards in hand, one of which is Teferi Time Reveler. We go to 16. Do we want to redraw the Rite of Flame? I don't think we actually do, so I'm going to fetch. Rite of Flame doesn't actually help us here. Take a draw. A card that deals us 3 due to Bowmasters. I'm not really planning on casting that one. Let's start off with a Veil of Summer. Drown in the Lock. So they have Teferi and 2 unknowns. I think I'm going to bobble them and try to gain a little bit more information. So we'll tap the bobble or the opal for a green. Make them think that we might have a Veil of Summer. Versus bobble them. We reveal the same Teferi. I'm going to try to jam here. And they do have a force. Well, I'm glad that they counterspelled that. So we'll pass the turn here. And now I'm 2 mana short of Ad Nauseam. We're going to take 1 off the bobble. And then their Orc grows a little bit bigger. So now they'll be dealing 3. They have 1 card in hand. And I'm 1 mana short of Ad Nauseam. They Abundant Harvest, so they're drawing a random card. 3 mana. They put Yori into hand. They attack for 3. I go to 11. So we need 1 mana here to Ad Nauseam. That is not a land that allows us to Ad Nauseam. Okay, so I can accept a Galvanic Relay for 2. I could Brainstorm, which would deal me a lot of damage. Relay was not the best hit. So if I do decide to Brainstorm, I would take 3 off the Bowmasters, putting me to 8. Their Orc Army would then grow up to a 5, so they'd have 6 damage, so I'd be at 2. Okay, I think I'm actually going to Brainstorm here. And that was terrible. I think I'm just dead. Like another artifact or a land we could have relayed, which was my plan. Okay, we have to concede. That was not ideal. That was pretty bad. Okay, so we'll bring in Abrupt Decays again, board out Thoughtseize, or bring in Thoughtseize, take out the Brainstorms versus the Bowmaster deck, and then shave 1 Urza's Bobble. Let's try this. With Bowmasters entering the format, I can't help but wonder if we should start to re-examine no blue even more. I mean, I don't want to play no blue, but like with Bowmasters and Narsets, and it just seems like maybe this is actually the time for 4-color sans blue, the Epic Storm. Maybe I'll look into it after this league. Whoops. Alright, bit of an error on my part. I forgot to unmute going into game 2. So we started off with a pair of baubles, looked at our opponent's top card, which is a Misty Rainforest. We played Petal, Opal, Thoughtseize, took their Flusterstorm, leaving them with Forcible Delighted Halfling. On their end step, we bobbled, saw Island, and then we untapped. Our bobble triggers were Diamond, Rite of Flame. So off our baubles, we now have enough mana and resources to cast Ad Nauseam. My apologies for not unmuting. And it probably clipped a bunch of stuff, so I am truly sorry. But on the bright side, we are in a position to put Ad Nauseam on the stack, which I'm totally into. Grab the Ad Nauseam, sacrifice the Lotus Petal, cast it. We're at 18 life. First card is always Galvanic Relay, huh? Okay, we're at 7, 5, 4. We'll stop there. Play out a Diamond, Lotus Petal, and our opponent concedes. So now we're going to game number 3. Sorry once again about forgetting to unmute. I'm just going to resubmit the same configuration. Game 3, our opponent reveals a Yorion. We have a Galvanic Relay hand that is going to be very powerful. We need to find one more mana. Prismatic Vista, sure thing. Abundant Growth, you got it. We found the land we needed, so I'm just going to pass here. You could play out the Bauble, but the Bauble is an extra storm count for the Relay, and I'd rather just sit on that. Land in their passing. Play out a Lotus Petal. Let's attempt to fetch twice. We want to thin our deck of lands. Underground Sea. I guess I didn't need to fetch Sea. There's no blue cards in our deck. Small misplay. Bauble. We saw in game 2 that they did board in Flusterstorm, so they could have a Fluster here. But I'm going to relay anyway. Put it on the stack. Looks like no Flusterstorm from the opponent here. Okay, pass the turn. Actually, let's bauble them. Wasteland. They have an end step Brainstorm. Alright, so they grabbed a Tundra with their Misty Rainforest. Let's see what they have in store for me here. They didn't play the Wasteland. That's pretty interesting. Ouch. Ending on my Diamond. I didn't like that. So you have to ask yourself, why would they not play a Wasteland, right? And I think the answer is that they have Drowned in the Loch or something similar here. We saw Drowned in the Loch in game number 1. Let's bauble them. Force of Will. Okay. Look at their top card. Another ending. So we're going to lose our other Diamond unless they fetch. Dark Ritual. Burning Wish. They do fetch, so maybe we get to keep our Diamond. Who knows? And they have the Drown in the Loch that we saw. Well, that we assumed that they had. Alright, so we know that they have a Force of Will in their hand. We're going to put this Burning Wish on the stack anyway. Force of Negation, exiling Force of Will. So they have one unknown card in their hand, and we're getting a couple Bauble triggers. We'll pass the turn. Mishra's Bauble and a Misty. So we've kind of flooded out here. Delighted Halfling and a land. So they are hellbent, but they can put Yori into hand here. Infernal Tutor off the top would probably be game. Instead, we get a Rite of Flame. Alright, so we'll play out the Bauble. The last land in our deck is Bayou, I believe. I think it's Bayou. Definitely a green land. Alright, so I'm going to play Misty. Let's bauble ourselves. We do not need another Diamond. Going to fetch this away. Alright, deck. Be good to me. Instead, we get another Rite of Flame. We have to hope for the best here. This looks like a hardcast Yorion, which will draw a card with the Abundant Growth. Alright, so they have two unknown cards in their hand. Take a draw. It's Dark Ritual. We have to pass again. We have 2 Burning Wish, 2 Galvanic Relay, and 4 copies of Infernal Tutor that are ideal draws. What are they casting here? The One Ring. Okay, so that's going to be good for them. They have protection from everything. We're going to drop to 12 life. Another Delighted Halfling. So they have 1 unknown in hand. And we can't catch a break. Flooding out pretty hard here. The One Ring draws 2 cards this time. They're up to 4 cards in hand. They attack for 6, so now they have lethal. I have to draw a card right now, and they need to not have any interaction. Instead, we drew consecutive spells that make mana, and we lose the match. Kind of a heartbreaker here. We had a lot of outs. It just didn't go our way. We are now 1-1. Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Token Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $14.99. This combo token pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens. That includes our classic Storm and mana tokens, as well as fan favorites such as Goblins, Squirrels, and Slime Time Live. But that's not all. We've expanded this token pack to cover a variety of formats with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game. Apparently I forgot to hit record. I am just messing up this league. I don't know what's wrong with me today. But we mulliganed, we're facing Sneak and Show, and they led on turn 1 Scalding Tarn. My apologies for all the mess ups this league. I don't know. Like, I don't really have an excuse. I'm just slightly off today. We'll bobble them immediately. Atraxa Grand Unifier. So that confirms Sneak and Show. We really need a Lion's Eye Diamond right now. Another Veil of Summer. Okay. Volcanic Island. We'll take a draw. It's another land. Pass. Ancient Tomb. I don't like this. Show and Tell. Sure. They have an Atraxa. 11 cards have been revealed. None of which are Force of Will. Big fan of that. They play a Lotus Petal. I think I'm going to cycle a Veil of Summer here. Saves me a mana on my next turn. Cast the Veil. Lotus Petal. Okay, Lion's Eye Diamond off the top rope. Let's see it. We should probably fetch the Thin. Increase our odds just slightly. They discard an Otawara. Start on Veil of Summer. If this just resolves, we're 1 black mana short. So we want them to like brainstorm into response and fail. Okay, so they are going to activate the Scalding Tarn. There's the Brainstorm. Dark Ritual, Lion's Eye Diamond, or any other artifact would be ideal for us. Veil of Summer. They have Force of Will. Pitching Atraxa. Okay, so let's play Rite of Flame. Rite of Flame. Lotus Petal. Mox Opal. And now we will tap this, play Infernal Tutor floating 3 red. Another Brainstorm. I mean, we're just going for a Galvanic Relay here. So we need our opponent to not kill us on their turn. We know that they have Show and Tell into Archon of Cruelty, but that doesn't kill me. We'll grab a Relay. Play it for 10 cards. Okay, pass the turn. We have 10 cards in exile. I'm not even going to look, because it requires us to live that long. They fetch. Show and Tell. Archon of Cruelty does not have haste. They attack for 7, I'll go to 7, and they go all the way up to 23 life. So you're saying there's a chance. Let's start off with a Bobble. Looks like they might have hit in the F6 key. Cast a Brainstorm. Put these 2 back. Lotus Petal. Dark Ritual. Let's tap that Opal for a red. We'll play another Opal. Play the Volcanic. Let's cast a Veil of Summer. Storm is now 7. Infernal Tutor can be Storm 8. We'll go grab a Lion's Eye Diamond. Play that. Sacrifice the Diamond. Play another Infernal Tutor. This will be Storm 10. Go grab another Lion's Eye Diamond. Play that Lion's Eye Diamond. Storm is now 11. Sacrifice this for black. Storm 12 will be Burning Wish. And Storm 13 will not be Thoughtseize, but it will be Tendrils of Agony. Cast it targeting them. Wooch wooch. Take that, Sneak and Show. Sideboarding. We want Thoughtseize. We are not super interested in multiple Galvanic Relays. And then we can board out 1 Bobble. Easy peasy. Game 2. Keep. This hand is great. Looted Delta for Volcanic Island. Ponder. Sure. They did not keep with the Ponder, so they shuffled. That's good news. We draw a Rite of Flame. Let's bobble them. Atraxa. So, in theory, I could try to jam here, but I feel like it's just really risky for not a lot of gain. I'm going to pass. I desperately want to cast 4th Eorlingas, but I don't want to be reckless in doing so. Misty Rainforest passed the turn. They have 6 cards in hand, one of which is an Atraxa. Are we supposed to just go for it? Rite of Flame. What about this one? Grab Bayou? Dark Ritual. Lion's Eye Diamond. Burning Wish. Storm is 6. That just resolves, which is pretty scary. I'm gonna grab a Thoughtseize, hope that for some reason they're not on a Veil of Summer list. Daze, Brainstorm, Surgical. I think it's just taking Brainstorm here. We can beat everything else. Take the Brainstorm. Hold priority on Infernal Tutor. Sacrifice this for black. Grab Ad Nauseam. I wouldn't be surprised if they removed my Lion's Eye Diamonds in response. That seems like a reasonable thing to do. And that was their decision. Ad Nauseam? Are you going to just hardcast Daze here? Looks like they are. Okay, so I will sacrifice the Lotus Petal and I will pay 1 for Daze. Mox Opal, Bobble, Brainstorm Tutor. Alright, we're just like a 0 away now. There's our 0. I guess we need a Burning Wish. I can't get Hellbent the old-fashioned way. Alright, Burning Wish, come to me. There you are. We're at 3, we'll stop. No need to accidentally flip and lose the game. Play out some Baubles. Tap this Opal for a black. We'll play another Opal. Lotus Petal. Bauble. Okay, we win the match. That's pretty sweet. So we are now 2-1 over Sneak and Show. Really want to cast 4th Eorlingas. Come on. I mean, I'm sure you want to see it too. So here's to hoping. If you're still watching, make sure to give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. While you're near the description, here's a reminder to use our affiliate links if you're going to make a purchase from Amazon, Cardhoarder, or TCG Player. Just above those affiliate links, you'll find our social channels. Make sure to join those to connect with us. Match number 4, we're on the draw against Pro Playa Slaya, and fortunately for me, I am not a pro, so hopefully we don't get slain. If I had to guess that this is probably somebody's testing alt. They have a history of Magic Online results, but they're very scattered, and I don't know, this just feels like somebody's alt name in my experience. Their last result was with Burn in 2019. Savannah? Utopia Sprawl. Is this Enchantress? This Veil of Summer won't be very good. They choose green. Brainstorm. Let's use the Urza's Bauble. Let's look at a random card in their hand. Destiny Spinner. It is totally Enchantress. Wow. Alright, we're just going to play the Underground Sea and pass the turn. We'll take a random draw off the Bauble. Mishra's Bauble. Okay. They play Seer's Sanctum. 3 mana. Enchantress's Presence. Sure. Cast the Brainstorm. Put Veil of Summer on the bottom, any other card on top. Okay, so this is not a spot in which I can get Hellbent due to the Infernal Tutor. Grab Badlands, so I could... What could I do here? Let's start off by looking at their top card. On Thin Ice. So I could go in Dark Ritual, or I could Infernal Tutor for Dark Ritual, but I can't empty in this matchup. That's not an option. I mean, I could just go get Peer into the Abyss, or Infernal Tutor for Dark Ritual. I think I like that. Okay, pass the turn. Galvanic Relay. They play a Sith's Harvest Hand. That's not an easy card name to say. Followed by a Destiny Spinner. Sure thing. Basic Plains. And then On Thin Ice. Okay, so at this point we're just going to put Peer into the Abyss on the stack. Rite of Flame, Dark Ritual, Lotus Petal, Mox Opal, Burning Wish. So I have access to 8 mana here, so that could be a Eorlingas for 6, so that's 12. That's just not enough. But 8 mana is enough to cast Peer into the Abyss with 1 mana open. Target me. Okay, and from here it should just be easy peasy. We'll play a couple copies of Rite of Flame. Play out some more artifacts. Like, at this point, it's just going through the motions, really. Do 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 chicka pa chicka pa pa pa. All right, Burning Wish. Grab the tendrils. Target you. 21 life for 21 storm, right? I guess I could have Grapeshotted them. Oh well, I'll live. That's game number 1 versus Enchantress. For the post-board games, we want to bring in Abrupt Decay, Chain of Vapor, get rid of the Veil of Summers. I mean, you could also board out a couple Relay, but I actually think Relay's pretty good. Like, Thoughtseize isn't even that great against Enchantress in my experience because they usually board in Leyline of Sanctity. I'm just going to leave the deck like this. Game number 2, we're on the draw. Let's keep this. We're 1 mana away from a pretty powerful Galvanic Relay. We can even Chain of Vapor or Mox Opal a few times for Storm. It's definitely what I'm into. Okay. Windswept Heath. Basic Forest. Utopia Sprawl. They choose white. Rite of Flame. Nope. So the question here is, do you play out a Bauble hoping to spike the mana for a Relay next turn? I think I'm going to sit pretty at least for 1 turn. I have the Chain of Vapors to buy some time. Stony Silence. Well then. I'm glad that I have double Chain of Vapor in my hand. We'll grab the Volcanic, Chain of Vapor, the Stony Silence. Maybe I should have gotten Underground Sea there, because if I use this other Chain of Vapor, I then have to Abrupt Decay later. And if I want to Abrupt Decay, it's better to have the other land. And I missed. So I'm going to have to play out the Baubles here. Okay. They have Helm of Obedience. Argothian. We'll pass the turn. We draw another Opal and Lotus Petal. So now we can... we could Chain of Vapor the Stony Silence. Ooh, they don't play Stony Silence. Interesting. Okay, so we're going to Galvanic Relay. Here's some artifacts for you. Play a Mox Opal. Play another Mox Opal. And we're going to keep that Chain of Vapor around. It's going to be pretty good for us. So here's a Relay and a Bauble. Sterling Grove. You draw off the Bauble. It's a Dark Ritual. We exile the Burning Wish plus other stuff. Like, we have enough to win on our turn. That's the Stony Silence. Oh, they didn't attack with the Argothian. I would have. Alright. Chain of Vapor, the Stony Silence. Play Taiga. Rite of Flame. Rite of Flame. Tap the Opal for a black. We'll play Dark Ritual. Lotus Petal. Burning Wish. Yes. Go grab a Thoughtseize. We'll cast it targeting them. Looks like no Mindbreak Trap. We'll take the Stony Silence. Discard my hand for 3 black. Infernal Tutor. Grab a Lion's Eye Diamond. Play it. Add 3 black. Burning Wish. Storm is 10. We'll grab Tendrils of Agony. Alright, so this is the 4th match of the league. We have not really had an opportunity to play the Empty the Warrens / 4th Eorlingas slot. I really want to. I hope that it comes up in match 5, and if not, I'll just cast it while I'm showboating or something. I don't know. I want to play it. That's the goal of this league. So, 3-1. Let's see if we can finish this 4-1. The Command Tower software by Eminence Gaming is perfect for hosting your own Magic events with features such as easy-to-create event registration for 4-player and one-on-one Swiss-based games. Event management has never been so simple, and it's done on the web, no downloads are required. You can sign up for $5 by visiting eminence.events/subscribe. For the Eorlingas, or for the 4-1, we're on the draw. I have no clue what our opponent's playing. We've opened up a hand that really wants to cast Galvanic Relay. Okay, Island to Lotus Petal. Looks like we're facing 8 cast. Not a deck that nice people play. Needle, sure. The name Wasteland. Emery, Lurker of the Lock. Lotus Petal, Spellbomb, Force of Will, and a Seat. Burning Wish. Okay. I'm going to bobble myself here. See if we're going to draw a land. Nope. So I'm going to play out another bobble. And actually, I might just commit all the way. Bobble you. Thoughtcast. Let's look at their top card. Another Thoughtcast. Okay. We will draw 3 cards in their upkeep. How do you like being bobbled? Okay, so that was not a bad 3 cards. We still need another mana source, though, because we can't protect a Burning Wish combo here. They're rebuying a Lotus Petal. So now they have enough to play Thoughtcast for a single mana. They do that. Another Thoughtcast, so they've played both of them now, and now they have 5 cards in hand. There's only 3 Force of Wills left somewhere between their deck and hand, because they milled one. They play a Mox Opal, Legend Rule happens, they'll sacrifice the original. 2 mana. This looks like our opponent's struggling to cast a Chalice of the Void. Shadow Spear. Chalice of the Void, yep. Okay, we missed the mana we wanted anyway, so we'll play out another bobble. Look at their top card. They're drawing a land. We'll pass. Dark Ritual is not what we need here. They play a Lotus Petal with 3 cards in hand. They play the Seat, so now they have 2 unknowns. Thought Monitor, so now they go up to 3 unknowns. We're in trouble. They have a 3/3 lifelink trample flyer. I don't know what to do. I think we just have to pass. Discard these 2. Our next draw would be 25% of the way through our deck with only drawing a single land. They activate the Emery. Yeah, nice spell into your own Chalice of the Void. Classic. There's just something about Chalice players, let me tell you. They play an Ancient Tomb. Let's slide that sideboard down. They go to 17. They have 3 cards in hand. Draw. We have to pass. Discard the Ad Nauseam. They replay Lotus Petal. And a land. So then now they have 3 cards in hand. They're going to attack for 3. I have a feeling that they have another force. Like, why are they sitting on 3 cards and not casting any of them? We just keep on drawing duds. Discard a Dark Ritual. Ay, ay, ay. They play a Lotus Petal and a Spire of Industry, 2 cards in their hand. They attack for 4. I'll fall to 10. Is that a land? We play those? That's crazy. I don't believe you. Come on. Lands? In Legacy? Infernal Tutor. Assuming that this resolves, I'm going to grab another Lion's Eye Diamond. It looks like they're going to counterspell it. Sure. So they're about to attack for 4, so that would put me to 5, so we get at least 2 more turns. Lion's Eye Diamond off the top will give me Peer into the Abyss, but if it's not exactly Lion's Eye Diamond, Peer shut off for the rest of the game. They play another Emery. Sure. So they have 1 card. Please deck Lion's Eye Diamond. No such luck. I think I'm supposed to just echo then. Okay, we will cast Burning Wish. Is your last card in hand another copy of Force of Will? If so, our opponent would have drawn 3 Force of Wills in the top 50% of their deck, where we struggled to draw 2 lands in the top 25% of ours. Grab Echo. Spin the wheel. And it looks like it is the 3rd copy of Force of Will. That's magic. We lose game number 1. We will bring in Abrupt Decay. And Thoughtseize. Board out Brainstorms. And the extra 8th Bobble. Game number 2, we're on the play. Sure, keep. We will lead on turn 1 Thoughtseize. So Underground Sea into Thoughtseize. They have 6 cards. Emery and a pair of Thought Monitors. Let's take the Emery. So next turn I have Dark Ritual, Infernal Tutor for Lotus Petal. It looks like we could theoretically become the Monarch, but not even make a single Night token. They play a turn 1 Saga. Looks like they drew an Opal for turn. We'll draw. Dark Ritual. I think we're supposed to go grab a Thoughtseize with this Burning Wish. I mean, in theory, I could actually go grab 4th Eorlingas. And that's 10 power next turn. Is that good? I mean, I could also just go grab Peer into the Abyss. So, getting Thoughtseize requires you to not draw a card that stops you from becoming Hellbent. Peer into the Abyss doesn't, but you're going off with less information. I think it's Thoughtseize, but it's going to feel bad if I get hit by Chalice of the Void. And, like, I know that this is supposed to be the 4th Eorlingas video, but I don't want to just get it because I want to cast it. Like, I want to play it because it's the right spot. And another Dark Ritual is insane there. And they actually did draw the Force of Negation. Wow! Going for the right play, paying off. I can't believe it. How lucky. Dark Ritual. Dark Ritual. Dark Ritual. Infernal Tutor. Grab Ad Nauseam. Cast it. We're at 15. Alright, losing some life. We'll stop at 3. Rite of Flame. Cast another. At this point, we're just casting all of our spells. We have 4 red in pool. I didn't even look to see if we flipped an action spell. I probably should have done that at some point. Infernal Tutor. Do we... I guess we have a Galvanic Relay. Do I have a Burning Wish in here? I don't. I stopped even though I didn't have the win. I guess it's better than risking death. Oh no. I burned a pair of Rite of Flames. I guess I can relay for 17 here. Okay. And now we'll go to cleanup. Discard a couple lands. They're going to make a construct. I'm going to respond to that. And I will Abrupt Decay the one that doesn't have haste. I guess neither of them have haste, but the one that could actually kill me. They grab a Soul Guide Lantern with their Urza's Saga. Okay. You got it. They play a Seat, Lotus Petal. So we know that their last 2 cards in hand are Thought Monitors. Sure. I guess I should bobble in a response to the trigger so that way I know what they have. You can draw an Emery. I don't mind. Another Thought Monitor. Force of Will. How will I ever beat that? Activate a Bobble. Their last card in hand is Chalice. Okay, so I know that their hand is Emery, Chalice. They're drawing Force of Will. And then they'll have 1 unknown. They play the Chalice. We'll Bobble them. Force of Will, and another. Alright, so we know their entire hand. So many Bobble triggers. Okay, we'll draw for turn. We get all these wonderful cards in exile. Let's start by blowing up the Chalice of the Void. That's the easiest thing to do here. And at this point, beating their Force of Will is just a joke. Play out a Bobble. Tap for a green. Veil of Summer. Okay, so let's just do this the quickest way we can. No need to waste time. Rite of Flame. Dark Ritual. Mox Opal. Although they are at 16, I could showboat the 4th Eorlingas here. That is something I could do. Play out another Opal. Bobble. Lotus Petal. Lines a Diamond. Lines a Diamond. Play Badlands. Hold Control. We will cast Burning Wish. Sacrifice for black. Red. They're at 16. With 3 blockers. Grab 4th Eorlingas. Red. Black. White. Alright, so this is for 13, which is 26. Well, let's sack the Petal too. Alright, so 14. 4th Eorlingas! Alright, we cast it. I mean, it wasn't the most meaningful spot, but we did it. You can't say that I did not cast it in the video. Alright, so we will become the Monarch. I guess when you do this in paper, you should probably have a crown next to you and just like put it on your head. But we have cast the spell. You can't take that away from me. And our opponent goes to -6. Now we have to win game number 3. I think we just resubmit. For all the marbles, we're on the draw in game number 3. We're going to keep this. I need to draw into a red land, primarily Taiga, so that way I can cast the Abrupt Decay, have Veil of Summer for all their interaction, and then also Galvanic Relay. So Taiga or a fetch land would be a huge draw for us. Emery. And they hit Chalice of the Void. That is terrifying. We draw Infernal Tutor. I don't know if we're going to win this game now. That was a really tough start by the opponent. Versus Saga. They activate Emery into Chalice of the Void on 1. And I can't really do anything about it. So even with the Abrupt Decay in hand, we're in a really tough spot here. Because the plan was to kill the Chalice, untap, and relay. I can't do that when they can just keep on replaying the Chalice over and over. So I'm going to fetch here. Let's Infernal Tutor. Go grab a second copy of Rite of Flame, and we'll pass. Okay, so they draw off their Bauble. Urza Saga goes up to 2. We are in a lot of trouble here. My best draw is probably Lion's Eye Diamond. They play another copy of Urza's Saga. They activate Emery on Opal. They play that. So now they have some extra mana. Draw for turn. I don't mind a land. Land is good. We'll pass. They'll make a construct. I'm actually going to fetch here. And we're going to go grab another red source. We don't have any blue cards in our deck, so it can be bad lands. But I want to activate the Mire before their Saga goes off, because a Needle on my fetch land would actually be pretty devastating. They make another construct. And they grab a Bauble. And Ancient Tomb. Things are not looking good. Not looking good for the home team. Still waiting to draw that Lion's Eye Diamond. They rebuy a Bauble. Sure. They attack for 7. I'll take it. I go to 11. We just have to Abrupt Decay the Chalice. So in theory, you could decay the Chalice here to save 1 damage, but I don't think 1 damage is the difference in this game. And I just want to make sure that I'm not going to mess up and allow them to do something post-combat that I don't want them to do. So I'm going to wait, blow up the Chalice for 1 on their end step. They have 5 cards and they did not activate the Baubles. Interesting. Ad Nauseam. I don't think that actually does anything we want to do here. Let's start off with a couple copies of Rite of Flame. They're going to attempt to counterspell the second one. Alright, well then let's Veil of Summer. They have 3 cards in hand. They Force of Will. They have 1 card in hand. We will Veil of Summer again. We need to draw 1 mana. Because 1 mana would allow us to Pulverize plus Galvanic Relay. Come on, Veil. That gives us lethal? So this is black. Yeah, this is lethal Tendrils of Agony. Full control on that Burning Wish. Storm 8. Tendrils of Agony will be Storm 9. Grab the Tendrils. Target you. Take that 8 cast. That main phase activation of Ancient Tomb cost them. So we ended up going 4-1. We never really had a spot where 4th Eorlingas came up. Kind of unfortunate. But I will take a 4-1 in a league. I'm sorry that it didn't showcase itself here, but I'm not going to record a league over and over again. I just don't have the time, if I'm being honest. Like, I'm a dad. Time is very precious. So insert your own Lord of the Rings joke there about precious time or whatever. But 4th Eorlingas, I need to test it more. But one thing I'm pretty sure moving forward is I'm going to spend the next week or so testing a list without blue and instead playing white. So that way you could have Prismatic Ending, Abrupt Decay, 4th Eorlingas. The only thing is you have to find something to replace Brainstorm in the main deck. So you have 4 slots. You could run 3 Veil of Summer and 2 Silence, and then find some other slots as well, like, I don't know, but it's something. Basically, I think Brainstorm has never been worse, and is it still so good that we should be splashing blue just for Brainstorm in the Narset Orcish Bowmasters metagame? Meanwhile, if we don't play blue, we get the best possible removal spell versus non-blue decks. I think that is actually a pretty impactful difference. So this is the core of what I want to play moving forward. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I would greatly appreciate that. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Keep storming. And I hope that you get to cast 4th Eorlingas, because I certainly don't. See ya. With Card Hoarder, renting your favorite combo deck has never been easier. There isn't a more affordable solution for Magic Online. Want to play the deck in this video? Check out the pinned comment below to easily rent the deck from Card Hoarder. Did you know you can rent the Epic Storm from Card Hoarder for as little as 7 tickets a week? We've made it simple to do so by including a button to rent the entire deck at theepicstorm.com/decklist.